I'm Ardo Cal. A loaded schedule of NFL preseason action finally here. Joe Burrow in action. First look at Adam Genti in the Raiders uniform. Colts quarterback battle took a hit early.
Sounds appetizing. Ardo, the Hall of Fame game, the NFL preseason opener, that was a week ago. Thursday kicked off a round of games for all 32 this weekend.
Yes, and we will begin with the Bengals and the Eagles. Joe Burrow playing the first quarter for the Bengals. And he would go to a familiar target. Opening drive, 3rd and 5 from Bengals 34. He finds Jamar Chase for 12 yards and the first down. Burrow connecting with Chase to keep the drive going. 2 plays later, 2nd and 2, Eagles 46. Burrow gets it to Chase for the 6-yard gain and the first down. Burrow and Chase moving the Bengals downfield. Very next play, Burrow targets Chase near the sideline. Chase is able to reel it in for the 23-yard catch. Chase just keeps his feet inbound barely. Nicely done. Great play there by Chase. Later in the drive, 2nd and goal at the Eagles 12. Burrow passes to Tanner Hudson, who battles into the end zone for the touchdown. Burrow went 6 for 7, 71 yards on the opening drive. Bengals lead 7-zip. Tanner McKee will hand it off to Will Shipley, finds a gap, races for 38 yards as the Eagles respond. That's a big run from Shipley. Later in the drive, 4th and goal, the Bengals 1. Eagles setting up for the tush-push. McKee pushes into the end zone for the tutty. Eagles push success continues as Jalen Hurts loves it from the sidelines. Next Bengals drive, Burrow finds Chase Brown over the middle for the 13-yard gain. Burrow looking sharp. 15 plays in this game for Burrow, matching his total from the last 2 preseasons. Burrow gets it to Chase, evades the defender, races all the way to the house. Burrow and Chase with the solid start to the preseason, but the Bengals would lose the game to the Eagles by a final score of 34-27.
Part of the team that won Cincinnati's division last year is the Ravens. They're facing the Colts. Story here is the Colts stable of QBs. GM Chris Ballard leading toward competition at the NFL Combine. Last year's starter Anthony Richardson to horns up Adonai Mitchell. 15-yard gain. Colts get a field goal on the drive. Richardson's second series. David Ajabo unblocked. Lights up Richardson. He's shaken up. Brutal shot in the Colts preseason opener and potentially consequential. Richardson ruled out with a dislocated pinky on his right hand. He had 21 completions across those 2 drives. $14 million spent to bring in Daniel Jones this offseason. He enters the game. We are throwing to Tyler Warren, Penn State rookie. 3 catches, 40 yards for Warren. Jones gets the Colts a field goal. They trail 14-6. Second quarter, Ashton Doolin just signed a 2-year extension in March. Jones under pressure, rolls out, finds Doolin. Colts get another field goal on this series. Jones, less than 50% completions, 10 of 21 on the day, 144 yards. Ravens win, but story and concern over Anthony Richardson and that pinky. For more, let's welcome in our NFL analyst, Tim Hasselbeck. And Tim, man, injuries have plagued Anthony Richardson so far as a pro. What did you see on the play Thursday on which he was injured?
Yeah, I think the unfortunate part, Phil, is this one really ends up being on the quarterback. You know, oftentimes, when you go out to play quarterback, you've got to be able to protect yourself, understanding how your protections work. Colts are in an empty protection. The center's working left. The right guard is going to end up squeezing down, which means the right tackle is going to sift. So he's basically going to sift to the most dangerous rusher. He deems it's the stack backer, which turns the linebacker free. That ball should go right to the flat. So Anthony Richardson, being unaware of the protection issues, ends up getting hit, ends up getting injured, and unfortunately, kind of been the hallmark of his career so far.
Thankfully, Cincinnati's QB1 came away unscathed in Philly. Joe Burrow looked sharp. 9 of 10, 123 yards, 2 touchdowns. One of those 2, Jamar Chase. What stood out to you from that duo?
I just think that how comfortable they looked. Cincinnati's offense looked good a year ago. They look good again to start in the preseason. I think just the willingness to compete in a preseason game by star players that are making a lot of money. It's not typical. I think in some ways it's maybe just a message with how things have gone in Cincinnati in terms of slow starts in past years, and then also with the current contract situation with probably their best defensive player. So I think part of it is kind of setting a tone of expectation for the team, and I think the offense came out and did a really good job.
You alluded to it. 0-2 starts 2022, 2023, and 0-3 start last year. So whatever An AFC dark horse took a big hit Thursday at practice. Chargers Pro Bowl left tackle Rashawn Slater is going to miss the season with a patellar tear in his left knee. The injury comes just 11 days after Slater signed a 4-year, $113 million extension with an O-line record $92 million guaranteed. Slater's one of 3 first-round O-linemen LA drafted over 4 years, 2021 to 24. Chargers reporter Chris Rim has more on Slater's injury.
It's impossible to overstate the negative impact that losing Rashawn Slater for the 2025 season could have on these Chargers. All energy vanished from Chargers practice Thursday as Slater left on a medical cart. The positive sign for the Chargers is that last year's 5th overall pick, Joe Alt, has experience playing left tackle where he played in college and started a game last season while Slater was out with injury. The Chargers believe Alt has all-pro potential at either side and will likely move him to the left tackle spot to protect quarterback Justin Herbert's blind side. As for the right side, this will likely bump up right tackle Trey Pipkins, who has 2 seasons of starting experience there in 2022 and 2023 with the Bolts. Still, without Slater and Alt on this offensive line, that significantly changes the ceiling for this Chargers team in 2025. With the Chargers, Chris Rim, ESPN.
Back with Tim. You played quarterback in this league. What is your level of concern for Justin Herbert losing his franchise left tackle for the season?
Well, here's what I'd say. It is a huge deal. Plain and simple, it's a huge deal because while they have immediate answers on the roster, moving off the left tackle, the problem ends up being your depth starts to get compromised. And the season's long, and they've got big time aspirations. So, from that perspective, it's a massive downgrade. They have one of the best left tackles, in the game, and now all of a sudden they don't have him. They want to run the football. Yes, what it does for the passing game as well. The only silver lining in it is of when it happens. There's going to be a bunch of roster cut downs. There'll be guys on the street that can play, maybe even veteran players. And so with that, there's time to add depth to that offensive line group. But this is a massive hit. I don't know how much it affects, Herbert directly, but I think more team accomplishments would be the greater concern, for the Chargers.
Next audition for offensive line spots is the Chargers' next preseason game, Sunday at home against the Saints. Tim, thank you.
Green Bay Packers safety Xavier McKinney is expected to miss preseason due to a calf injury that also kept him out of Thursday's practice. McKinney says he's confident he'll be ready to go in the season opener on September 7th against the Lions. McKinney said the hurt calf had been lingering over time. McKinney earned all-pro honors with 8 interceptions in his first season with Green Bay. Okay, this is the Pittsburgh's Golden Arms portion of the show, starting with Aaron Rodgers. How long do we wait to see him in his Steelers uniform? Off the preseason on Saturday night, Coach Mike Tomlin has identified players that will not be suiting up. There was talk that Rodgers could play due to an injury to Will Howard. Rodgers said, whatever Coach wants to do, he's fully on board. Coach gave out that answer with a longer list of names.
I've identified some guys that won't be playing in this game this week, and it has nothing to do with injury. Aaron Rodgers, DK Metcalf, Ramsey, Porter, and Slay, Patrick Queen will not play. Cam and TJ will not play. Oftentimes I preserve them through this process while providing more opportunity for those that need more preparation or more opportunity to display their talents.
What about black and yellow baseball?